You know, in this incredible race to build bigger and more powerful AI, it feels like we're moving at light speed. But what if I told you there's a massive crack in the foundation that could bring the whole thing tumbling down? Today, we're going to talk about the AI crisis you've probably never heard of, but one that seriously affects the entire future of the field. It really all boils down to this one simple question. We see AI doing these amazing things, right? But if we can't actually check the work, if we can't verify the results, how much can we really, truly trust these systems? Okay, so this is the number that should stop everyone dead in their tracks. A landmark study, and this is wild, found that over 60% of published AI research papers can't be reproduced by other scientists. I mean, think about that. That is more than half of all the supposed progress in the field, just poof, completely unverifiable. And this has a name. It's called the reproducibility crisis. Now, reproducibility is the absolute bedrock of all science, right? It's how we prove something is real. But in the world of AI, it's becoming this dangerously slippery thing, and it's creating this massive hidden crisis of credibility. The implication here is just staggering. It means the entire field, yeah, all those exciting new models and apps we hear about every single day, could be built on research that is fundamentally shaky. It's like we're building this incredible skyscraper, but we're building it on sand. And believe me, this isn't just some theoretical academic problem. We're talking about real-world consequences. Researchers are wasting months, sometimes years, trying to replicate results that are basically ghosts. And then, downstream projects get built on top of those flawed results. And in super high-stakes areas like medicine or finance, this can cause huge delays and create absolute regulatory nightmares. So this just begs the question, right? If this is happening so often, what is the one thing that keeps going wrong over and over again? Is it the models? Is it something wrong with the code? Well, turns out, the answer is usually something else entirely. The main culprit is a little something called data provenance, or maybe more accurately, the lack of it. This is the core idea we really need to wrap our heads around to see what's truly going on behind the curtain of AI research. This chart just lays out the disconnect perfectly. In AI, you've got two halves of the puzzle. On one side, you have the model, the code itself, which, is often pretty well documented, people share it. But on the other side, you have the data, the actual ingredients. And that is so often treated like a total black box with a completely missing history. So what even is data provenance? Well, put simply, it's the history of your data. It's a complete, totally transparent record of where it came from, every single little transformation it went through, and who signed off on its quality. Think of it like the data's entire life story. And this right here is the bottom line. It honestly doesn't matter how brilliant your algorithm is. If the data it was trained on has some unknown or sketchy history, the model itself is just fundamentally untrustworthy. Garbage in, garbage out, right? Okay, so if the big problem is a missing data history, the solution has to be building a totally new foundation where that history is front and center. We're actually seeing a few different approaches pop up to tackle this, and we're going to use a project called CodeData as an example to really get the core principles behind this new wave thinking. The big idea behind systems like this is to just stop treating the data story like an afterthought. Instead, they create a verifiable chain of custody for the data, like a paper trail, and they embed that chain right into the research workflow from the very beginning. So how does this all work in practice? It sounds good, but what are the mechanics? Let's break down how you actually create one of these verifiable data sets. This kind of system is really built on 4 key pillars. First up, you've got verified metadata. This just means every data set has an unchangeable, verifiable record of where it came from, its birth certificate, basically. Second, transparent pipelines. Every single step of cleaning and prepping the data is documented so anyone can replicate it exactly. Third is reproducible validation. This means the process for even checking the data quality is itself totally transparent and auditable. And finally, decentralized access, which is a fancy way of saying the data is stored so that it can't just disappear or get taken offline by one person or company. It all comes down to this really simple but kind of profound insight. When the data itself is verifiable from start to finish, the science you build on top of it becomes reproducible almost by default. It just works. Fixing this problem isn't really about correcting old mistakes. It's about fundamentally changing how we build AI from this point forward. It's about creating a more trustworthy and, frankly, more collaborative future for the entire field. And the impact of getting this right, oh man, it's huge. Innovation speeds up because scientists aren't wasting time chasing ghosts. Peer review gets way more rigorous because people can actually check the work. High stakes AI in things like medicine and finance becomes safer and way more accountable. It just creates this amazing virtuous cycle of knowledge. It makes collaborating across different universities and companies truly seamless. At the end of the day, solving this reproducibility crisis, it isn't just some academic nice to have. In a world where AI is making critical decisions about our health, our finances, our futures, it's an absolute prerequisite for building systems that we can actually genuinely trust. So I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. If we solve this huge foundational problem, if we really start building on a bedrock of verifiable, reproducible truth, what kind of future could that unlock? What new worlds open up when we can finally, truly trust our data?